Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Major Minor. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's on Steam for free. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we learned that... Sorry, I have to bring up the names of people. Acheron or something like that. Acheron is also in this whole galactic cosmic contest thingy here, and his job is to protect everyone, or as many people as possible. And, you know, someone died, so we chose poorly, or that's just how things are gonna go. Also, we had a meeting with Singe, who said we're getting $100,000 and going. Well, actually, I guess that was until he found out somebody else died, which is like shock or something. And then, yeah, we're staying. Anyways, I take a deep breath as I close the door behind me. I press my back against it, resting for a moment. So, Singe has revealed that he's not responsible. It's odd to be relieved in this kind of scenario, but I understand where he's coming from. We've all wallowed in self-pity before. At least he's free to use his energy in other ways. In this case, plotting with Acheron. Damn you, femboy, snow leopard, or whatever you are. Regardless of how I feel about Singe's current plan, I know that Acheron will keep us all safe, and talk some sense into him if he's off track. It wasn't my place to decide what they did, but it wasn't my place to defy Acheron's orders either. They definitely hired the best in the business. Dark? As if on cue, he approaches me. I saw the paramedics carry out a body bag. I was terrified, wondering who it could be, but I got a text from Singe right away. I was worried it might be you. Aww. But in light of what happened, I think some changes need to be made. Singe does not have a good grasp on things. I expect some answers from him promptly, and I expect him to put me in charge. Rocker's death was a tragedy. Okay, so it was Rocker, not Shock. One that could have been easily avoided. If only he didn't pick the wrong thing, or you talk to him, I guess. Who knows? I'll try to do True Path later. Cut enough Acheron. Shock approaches with fervor. What did you just say? I was just saying, it's a tragedy what happened to Rocker. He was so young, as well. Shock's hands turned into fists. He trembles, clearly fighting off tears. Tell me what happened. Acheron looks at me, unsure of how to respond. I shrug. Dealing with this is not my expertise. There was an incident shock. Like what happened to Clace. Actually, it was exactly the same. Rocker died in the same way? I guess Singe gave Acheron more info than us. But if this was true, then the person texting me, they killed Clace. But not only that, they were the Midnight Killer, so I guess Shocker might not be dead? I mean, he is dead, but he isn't dead. Using their power from the Ark for nefarious purposes, then the culprit really is in the building? And with access to power from a place like that, I shiver, even though I can't do diddly squat. Utterly terrified at the implications. It's all connected, more than I thought. I wouldn't be surprised if Terra was involved too. Terra... Oh yeah, the other planet. You mean... Unfortunately, yes. How could you let this happen? Me? Best in the business. Perfect track record. You were supposed to be here to save us. What were you doing instead? Do you even know where Rocker was? Well, judging by... I don't care about judging by. Your stupid deductions won't save anyone. 2 of my friends are already dead. Shock, please. Shut up. In a A fit of anger, Shock throws a punch at Acheron. Acheron doesn't move from his place. He just stands his ground. Reaching out a paw, he catches Shock's punch. What? Acheron squeezes Shock's fist. He trembles in pain, trying to break free. But Acheron's grip tightens. It looks like Shock's fingers might snap at any second. Hey! Let go! It's clear that Shock is starting to panic. Perhaps he thought less of Acheron or more of himself. It's hypocritical of you to say that. Instead of releasing his grip, he tightens it further. Don't place the blame of this on me. We're dealing with a serial killer here. And if I'm supposed to protect you, you don't want to be on my bad side. He releases his grip. Shock flies back and lands on the floor. The momentum of his attempt to escape used against him. He quickly pushes himself up and runs away. He covers his face, as if in shame. After a few moments pass, Acheron turns back to me. Terribly sorry about that scene. I have little patience for men like him. Quick to anger. Irrational. You know. I saw it in his eyes. He thinks I'm responsible for Rocker. There's no way that he's thinking clearly. I know it's my job to protect, but I can't be everywhere all at once. It's not fair for him to blame me. I'm afraid that now I'm self-conscious. I must not let his thinking dissuade me. Rests his paw on his chin, deep in thought. I guess I no longer have a perfect record. Rocker was part of my job description. I'm not sure how to feel about this. That's usually what set me apart. It's not a good thing to have on a resume. In fact, I'm certain that's why the guard before me fled. They were ashamed. I don't feel shame. Instead, I feel determined. In this instance, it's become clear the guard before me was just a coward. I'm not going to run. I never would. I'll stay and stand my ground. I'll stop this killer with Singe. I promise. He stares at me with fire in his eyes. I nod and give him a smile, thanking him. His speech made me feel a little safer. Dark, would you do me a favor of waiting here? I'd like to talk to you further, but I must tend to things with Singe. Given the current situation, I cannot put him off that meeting any longer. No offense. None taken. Debating our safety was definitely more important. I think small talk would be fading away soon enough, especially if this is my last night here. I can only hope that their discussion is fruitful. I wave him off and decide to wait around this area. I don't think I'll be waiting too long. Acheron was definitely quick and to the point. Thank you very much. Be seeing you shortly. With a smile, he walks off. As soon as he opens the office door, Keela comes out. Without so much of a word, he storms downstairs. Acheron looks at me and shrugs. I do the same. I'm not sure what's gotten into him lately. He's been acting the same ever since this morning. Since we got back from Terra? Acheron pushes this aside and enters the office. I decide it's best to stick to the plan and wait here. Keela is more than capable of taking care of himself. So, here's the thing. The defense technical system, are there any cameras or anything like that? Or, I don't know, something that would say who's in a room? Because, there's explosives and knockout gas, so you'd think they'd have, I don't know, sensory stuff? I sprawl out in the chair and close my eyes, wondering just what would happen next. Keela wanders the convention center by himself, seemingly against the previous instructions of Singe. He scans the room in a curious manner, as if he's looking for something, unsure of what it is. I really hope I'm not late. Singe sure likes the sound of his own voice. He nervously presses back against the wall. To pass the time, he uses his phone for a few moments. Behind the corner of his eye, he notices something. Figure slowly approaches him. This is confirmation enough that he's not too late. He lets out a sigh of relief, and his worry washes away. Hello, Keela. I'm glad you could make it. Me too, actually. So wait, she set up a meeting with him as well? I didn't think Singe would ever shut up. He's really determined to catch this killer. Yeah, I could tell. Good thing my weapons are here. I doubt Acheron could stop them himself. I mean, what about your thing? He's too infatuated with Daz. Oh yeah, he did seem to be a little infatuated with her. Maybe not infatuated, but interested or something, I don't know. Really? I didn't figure him the type. He seemed all business and no pleasure. It's hard to get a read on him sometimes. Either way, let's not waste any time. I'm glad you agreed to this meeting. Well, of course. I never leave someone like you hanging. It's not every day that a billionaire... Just call me Max, Keela. My money does not define me. Oh, of course. I did not mean to offend you, Max. It's okay, Keela. You didn't know. But I'm here as Max, not as CEO Armstrong Incorporated. Fair enough. Well, I'm here as Keela. So we're on even playing ground. What did you want to talk to me about? Oh, everything that's going on right now. Sorry for just assuming a moment ago. But are you thankful for the weapons here? I'm not sure. I know Acheron isn't, but he's also not doing his job. I mean, if he was, Rocker would be alive, right? Glad you see it my way. But your weapons didn't help either. So I can't say for sure. Sorry, Max. Wow. What a sharp wit you have. If that wasn't funny, I'd be offended. Singe is the one responsible for that. He has the key to detonate the weapons. Detonate? I do that too, but it's not my job. He bought them, so he should use them. Instead, he's too busy drowning himself in sorrow. What a drama queen he is. Well, Rocker's death changed that. He realized Clace's death wasn't his fault. So he feels a little better now. Is that so? Yeah. So maybe his judgment will be more clear. This still has no excuse for Rocker, though. I'll say. I guess the weapons haven't exactly gotten a chance to prove themselves yet. I hope that you give them proper chance. I guess. I'm not going to be here for much longer anyways. I'm fleeing home later. Flying. But Singe wants us to keep it a secret. He says if the killer knows that we're plotting, they might make rash action. Oh, really? Max smirks softly. Thank you for sharing this with me. Wouldn't want you to get caught in the fray. Yeah, exactly. So, whatever happens here, I'm out. I didn't want to come here to begin with. Wow. Can't believe you said that. You must trust me if you let that slip up. Well, I don't see why I can't. I hate Tokyo. It's so stupid. Everyone is staring at me like I'm weird. I know. I dug into your history a little bit. Really? Why? You're just so interesting, Keela. Did you tell anyone else? I mean, the real reason you're here. No. That's probably for the best. It would be a shame if everyone here found out you were lying to them all this time. Hey, you keep that to yourself, Max. Perhaps I will, or perhaps I won't. I'd be more inclined to keep it to myself if you were to do me a small favor, Keela. Fine. Checkmate, I guess. Oh, not quite yet, but I'm afraid I have to go for now. My favor involves another meeting. All about 7 o'clock midnight. At about. Are you down for that? Sure, we're at. Max points down a hallway connected to the lobby. Second floor, on the right. There's a small meeting room there. It'll give us much more privacy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have another meeting to attend to. She disappears as fast as she arrived. I had to open my big mouth. I keep getting myself into trouble. Yee. No true ending flags. Oh yeah, and the king stabbed himself. With a scepter or something? Dusk. I've been thinking. You mentioned a visit to the people. That this may help my public relations. Of course, Velasquez. Your public image is very important, especially if you wish to dispel rumors. Yes, but I've thought of something else. Oh? And what is that, my king? A visit to the people might be wrong. If I parade over them in my lavish outfit, ripe with luxury, they would feel hurt. This would be like a pompous display of ownership, in a way I don't intend. Would you like me to prepare a new outfit? I could allocate funds from the treasury. Something more rustic, perhaps? Maybe not fully intact. With holes? Look, that seems to be all the rage. No, Dusk, what is he talking about anyways? Are we talking about, like, falling apart, or are we talking about, like, hot topic kind of thing? Also, if he has all the money, like limitless coffers, couldn't he, I don't know, use on the people? Dunno. I must not disguise myself. Hiding who I am also gives off a bad image. Then, I'm afraid I don't know. What else could you be planning, my king? It may be risky, but I want to open the doors of my castle. I want the people to come to me. They will be able to walk these halls, as if they were in their own home. This will give off an image I intend. The terror truly belongs to its people, and that I don't hold back from them. Really? I would advise against that. We may be subject to massive theft. Not to mention, your enemies may use this opening to plan an attack. Trust me, I've considered all avenues. Let me describe my plan in more detail. Of course, my lord. I did not mean to be crass. When everyone has arrived, I will gather them in the atrium. At this point, I will address all of them at once. I will be fully forthcoming. This is where they will learn that I have planned for myself what I have planned, and the future of Terra. At this point, we open our grand hall. We will have a feast for the ages. A ball that will be etched in time. And I will close by ending my reign. You can't be serious, Velasquez. It needs to be done, Dusk. If my enemies still wish to attack me after hearing everything I have to say, then I will accept my appointed fate. For the repercussions of my death will be negligible compared to what happens next, and this twisted monarchy will end. Succeeded by what the people decide. However, if my plan comes to fruition, I will leave them to a beautiful world, in a much better shape than it is now. The mummings of this new Terra, mumblings. Perhaps they are not as off as they think. We can only hope that... Velasquez groans in pain, grasping at his chest. My lord? Are you okay? He removes his hand from his chest, stained with blood. Yes, I'm fine. Sir, you're bleeding. Please, do not be alarmed. It's an old wound that must have reopened. I am capable of tending to it myself. You are dismissed. Yes, of course. Please call me if you need any aid. If it gets worse, we must take action. Moments later, Velasquez leans against a wall. He grips the scepter with his hands, panting heavily. Has it stopped working? I lay back in a comfortable position as I can find, as my mind races, replaying events thus far, as well as playing out potential futures. Just how would this end? What was my place? Even if I left Tokyo today, it might not be over. The man in the ark might follow me, especially if my role in Terra is as I was told. In my deep thought, I failed to notice Acheron appear. He fakes a cough in order to get my attention. Terribly sorry for the wait. There's much to discuss with Singe. He bows slightly, as if in apology. But I didn't mind. I was able to use my time effectively. Discussion was very good, however. Singe has given me full control of this convention center and everything inside. He will no longer be making the decisions. It seems I've been promoted. Without further compensation, of course. My interests do not lie in monetary gain. The first thing I wanted to do was launch a full investigation on the weapons here. Look at them closely and their placement. It seems like a good idea. If one of them were bombs, we should keep our distance. Some. Or maybe there was a dead zone? A place where neither type of weapon could reach us. Of course, my curiosity prevailed. I already did a full investigation. I thought it best not to wait around. My research spawned particular results. Oh, I guess he jumped the gun? I asked him what he ended up finding out. Well, the weapons are moving around on their own. At least, that's how it seems. What? How does that make any sense? Allow me to elaborate. When I first arrived, I made a mental note of all their locations. They seemed to be placed in strategical fashion. Rooms that were more likely to contain a large amount of civilians were only armed with non-lethal weaponry. That makes sense. The press conference room, for example. It's also true of many other areas, including the lobby and other boardrooms. I see that they were placed in a way that would minimize damage to innocents. But now, the opposite is true. I don't know how they changed, or so fast, but the lethal weapons took their place. It seems now that the weapons are organized in a fashion that would maximize damage. They all just swap places. That's alarming. And to top it all off, it's been happening right under our noses. Like during the press conference, none of us noticed. But during the briefing, a bomb was placed in that room, replacing the chemical weapon that was there before. How did we not notice? The thought sparks in my mind. It was most likely the murderer. Acheron doesn't know, but somebody with powers from the Ark could easily make the swap while unnoticed. This comes with more terrifying implications. I bring it up, but Acheron quickly shoots me down. Impossible. The only people who could tamper with those weapons are Singe and Armstrong herself. And besides, Singe was on stage. He quickly comes to a more realistic conclusion. Tch, my outburst still haunts me, I guess. They must have done it during my little grapple with Singe. Good distraction. Everyone had their eyes on us. That would have been perfect time. And they would have done the rest while the conference continued, since nobody would be out there to catch them. But then who did it? A discussion would mean it was Armstrong, but I asked him to reevaluate the situation from an angle where he isn't beating himself up. The only other person could have moved them if they had the codes. Each weapon has a special set of codes, one to disarm, one to rearm, one to detonate. It would be easy to move them if you were to strategically disarm and rearm them, but I find this hard to believe. It would imply that either Singe or Max were careless enough to lose their codes, or give them to someone in the league with them. I don't side with these implications. There must be another explanation. I've always told myself that weapons like that are not secure. It's entirely in the realm of possibility that they were hacked. Either way, a distraction was needed. I'm still the one that provided this. He lets out a heavy sigh. The first of my many bad decisions. Would you mind coming somewhere private? Away from prying eyes and waiting ears? We do not know the killer's reach. We must remain cautious as possible. I know it. It makes sense. Especially if we are plotting against them. He wouldn't want to announce our plans too loudly. Leads me down a few winding hallways. We turn quite frequently and quite fast, as if he's trying to shake someone off our trail. He glances back at me a few times, like wants to make sure I'm still following. He seems uneasy, unsure, perhaps scared. I try not to let it bother me. I know by now that I'm safe when I'm near him. After a few minutes of navigating, we arrive. He wanted to lead me to the dance rehearsal room? Of all places, this was certainly an odd choice. Scan the area. The wall on the opposite side is a large mirror. I can see reflections staring back at us. I look like a mess. Not much time for a wardrobe. Sorry for taking you so far away. It's one of the safest rooms, though. It seems they forgot to put weapons here. I guess they didn't have enough for every room? Still, it seemed odd to leave out just this one. Was there some sort of significance to that fact? You know how I feel about Armstrong, but this room, it's different. I feel as if I can actually focus in here. It's purely psychological, but I feel like I can sense those weapons. I can hear the whirring inside of them, and it drives me mad. It wasn't always like that, though. I used to be much closer to Maxine. Of course, that's not relevant right now. Seems pretty relevant to me. He had to have a reason for hating her so much. I asked him if he could elaborate on that for me. No, I won't. Sorry, Dark. If I ever tell you that story, then it's meant to happen at another time. Flat out denied. Oh well, nothing I can do. Ask him what he actually wanted to talk about then. Well, it's no less embarrassing, so I suppose I'll say it bluntly. My track record is ruined. What I've been building my entire career, it's all disappeared in the blink of an eye. He clenches his fists together and trembles softly. I must have mentioned this before, but having someone die on your watch, you'll likely never get hired again. It's a cardinal sin among guards. That's why the last one ran away. What would be the good one? Because I could see him go, am I useful? And say no. And then he'd say, and that one might be like, he also wants to leave. Yay. His eyes open wide, like he's taken aback. You really think so? I nod. Most people would discredit me immediately. I hide from this if I could, but I'm sure it'll follow me to my grave. But you're right. Sin still let me take control. Perhaps I can extend my contract. This tour could use a permanent guard. That's not my only issue, though. Looks around the room, takes in a heavy sigh. This is where I was when it happened. Rocker's death, I mean. I wanted to spend time alone with Daz. Of course, personal interest is irrelevant. I had to assume she was in danger, especially since the last victim was Clace. One star to another, right? At least, that's what I thought. But Daz wasn't the target at all. I guess the killer was after Rocker. So I would assume that Shock is up next. However, that could also be a trap. They would go after Daz if she's alone. I'm expected to watch over everybody, but at the same time, this is impossible. Most likely targets, I guess? Oh. Well, if I picked the other thing, would that, have made him like me more? You'd assume that makes the most sense, but I fear that choice got Rocker killed. Huh. I might want to go back and undo that. I don't know. A change that may actually be necessary. Almost everybody here is still alive. The odds of choosing the wrong person. I can't go with a method where the chances of success only rise with the body count. Actually, I kind of want to just take my one mulligan. Was it F4? No, it's F5. My one mulligan. Ish. It'd also be interesting to see if this picks choices, but it hopefully wouldn't. I did do a mulligan in Winds of Change where I picked, where I told, and spoiler, told Pro to continue to, you know, chase after his biological family. Since, for that one, I felt like that would still be a thing ticking at his mind, and it's also a possibility that they did, you know, that his father didn't go there for legitimate reasons, like something came up or something, but apparently that's the wrong one. And the right one was, we're your family. Forget about them, we're your family. Because, you know. Hey, if I'm not gonna get the true ending, I at least want to get some dick. That would be ideal. Of course, there's just too many of us. I'm unsure how I could do it effectively. Someone is always going to have an opening. I feel like there's no right answer here. Except there was. Is one man truly enough for all this? Probably not, but we can try. Or hire more people, you'd think. Or is this just an insurmountable task? The odds are clearly stacked against me. Like, I don't know, I would think you'd maybe hire one bodyguard for everybody. These people don't seem to be short on cash. And you know it wouldn't be anybody inside the building. I mean, outside the building. Probably. Odds are certainly stacked against me. I don't have a good history with that. He presses back up against the bar on the wall. The lighting of the room reveals bags under his eyes. The best answer would be to gather all of you in one room and not let you leave. Then I could watch everybody at once. But some of you actually feel like you're prisoners in the convention center. It's not right to tighten the leash. Doing so also leads to disobedience, so I feel like it's counterproductive. I have to think on this further. Sorry. Yawning from reading. I'm sure I can find the right thing to do. Of course, correct discussions elude me. At first, I thought I could take on the job with an unbiased mind. I did mention that to you before, in fact. I had no prior association with this group. I wasn't affected by Clace's death either. That changed at the press conference, when Singe revealed Armstrong was involved. My outburst caused more harm than good, especially if it was only a distraction. My choice actively caused you more danger. I can't just let that fact go. It's eating away at me, consuming me. I might have 2 mulligans. You really think so? They're saying that they could move it anyway. I nod. All they needed was an empty room. That's what they would have had regardless. True. We didn't stay in that room after the conference. Your logic is sound. He smiles slightly. Under stress, things can get cloudy. An outside perspective can help immensely. This whole job just became so complex. And to top it all off, personal too. There has to be something I can do. If only I could disarm the weapons. But that's impossible without the codes. This conversation is optional. Ask him if he can talk to Singe about the codes. After all, Singe trusted him enough to give him control. If he could get the codes and disarm the weapons, well, a large source of stress would immediately vanish. That's the thing. I asked him, but he didn't comply. I don't think he fully trusts me, especially after I attacked him earlier. Another reason why that was a bad decision. He looks crushed as he tells me this information. Perhaps he felt it was his fault, or perhaps he desired Singe's trust. Do you trust me, Dark? I've only ever wanted to keep you all safe. Remain silent. I trust you. That makes me happy to hear. I was starting to feel like I was alone. Can I ask you why? Was there something I did specifically? Because to be honest, I screwed up lots. Before I can even think about responding, my phone rings. I feel as if my heart stops beating. Another text message? I hope they would stop. Feels like I've woken up from a nightmare. I raise my finger, asking him to hold on. He stops talking and gives me time to check. I go through a brief period of hoping it was Singe, or Rook, or Keela. But that hope was short-lived. Go to the lobby, now. Things will begin shortly. I'm not sure what they could possibly mean. What was about to begin? I stop and think. Last time I got a text, they said a friend would die. I instantly put my phone back in my pocket. I storm out of the room without saying a word. But honestly, I wouldn't know what to say. I assume this person wants me alone. So I leave the safest room in the building into certain danger for both myself and my friends. Simply hoping that Archon doesn't take this personally. And that maybe he would follow along in secret. You didn't show him the text message? Please save. Thank you. Well, that's going to be the end of this. Let's place a comment, because I like comments. Don't you like dislike tips as always? Really, I thought we did several things, and somehow we only made it go up one? What the hell? Because it said he liked it, but then it only went up one. I wonder if there's some kind of weird finagling where it's like, hey, if I redo it, it doesn't count those. Probably not? I don't know. Well, anyways, end of this. Let's place a comment, because I like comments, if you like, dislike. If you like my YouTube and like see grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos epic grow, and please remember to your most epic control the pit population. And until next time, let's say me, GamerWolfSix of Major Minor. See ya.